car after a fun exploration through the mud, and I am on my way to Rocky Gap Road. The mountains through here are different than I expected. It does not feel like Nevada. It feels like, well, I just always thought Nevada was just flat and deserty, so kind of cool. I'm enjoying taking the back roads through this area. It's pretty. And just like that, the weather turns to snow. Put the Jeep in 4-wheel drive and 4 high just in case I get to a slippery part. And I'll take it a little slower. Speed limit's 55 through here, but I'll probably go more like 45 and probably decrease as I go, just to be safe. But it feels like we're getting to the top of the mountain and we'll come back down again, and I'm sure the snow will change back into rain. Well, made it down from the mountain just fine and entered this valley that I think they call this Lake Valley or Lake Bed Valley. Hard to see it, but there's a lake bed off in the distance here. This is a big forest of Joshua trees, which I didn't expect. And then you can just kind of see the mountains just coming through the clouds here. Really, really beautiful. So I'm driving in Nevada, heading south, but I saw this river back here that just looks absolutely beautiful. The heat from the water is creating steam from the cold rain that's basically giving it a really mysterious, cool look. It's private property. There's this big, huge fence lining the whole thing, but I thought, you know what? I want to stop and take a picture of that. So, pretty cool. Well, this is the Paragonanat Reservoir, River, something. National Wildlife Refuge. It's a big, huge, brownish lake. But beautiful spot. And kind of a nice spot to stop and walk around and stretch your legs a little bit. There's a little road down here. Look at this. You can see there's some old road. I don't think we're allowed to drive on that anymore. It goes up and around. Well, I'll give the back parts of Nevada one thing. Every little bit of mountain seems to be just a little bit different. There's a lot of variety here if you look for it. And the storm and the clouds give it a kind of an ethereal look too, which is pretty cool. Well, this is part of an outdoor adventure I did not expect to encounter. I am stuck in rush hour traffic in Las Vegas, Nevada. Apparently, to get from Cathedral Gorge over to the Badge of Honor Trail, you have to go down to I-15 and then go through Las Vegas, and then you go back out again. I only have to be in here for 4.5 miles, but it just happens to be that I'm here at 5:56 p.m., which is exactly during rush hour traffic. And of course, the rush hour traffic is a lot worse because of all the rain. So I am enjoying the lovely lights of Vegas, both the ones on the buildings and all the red ones in front of me. It's only 6:30, but it looks like it's 9 o'clock. I did not expect it to get this dark this quick. I still have another 26 minutes till I get to the trailhead. I've got to find a place to camp. I'm hoping I can find a place relatively easy, and in this rain, I'm not going to pop the tent. I'm going to sleep in the back of the Jeep. I'm already relatively prepared for that. All right, Spring Mountains. Here we go. Let's see what we can find. So I've been traveling on Lovell Canyon Road for several miles now. There's lots of little offshoots to go find a camping spot. According to my GPS, I've got another 1.7 miles to the actual trailhead. So I thought I'd get a little closer to the trailhead to make it easier in the morning. And maybe as I go up, because I am gaining in elevation, maybe that will get me into some deeper trees too, which could be interesting, although it also might make it so it's gonna snow. The rain seems to be lessening up here, which is nice. It's also a good opportunity to use my off-road lights. I got cubes on the side of the Jeep and some rock lights underneath, and as you can see, even here in dark night, it illuminates the road pretty well. I'll just show you the difference. So if I turn my brights down, so that's brights, not much of a difference. If I turn my off-road lights off, you know, the off-road lights really help illuminate the sides and out in the distance. So LED lights are pretty awesome. I've been pretty happy with them ever since that revolution came to the lighting industry for vehicles. I remember the old incandescent lights, and boy, they were very dim. Oh, what's this over here? Let's check this out. Could this be our spend the night spot? Be nice to find someplace nice and level. I like that it's gravel and not mud. Ooh, getting a little off camber. There's a fire ring. There's 2 fire rings. Okay, I think this will work. Well, I'm relatively level considering it's raining outside and it's hard to kind of put it all together. Now I've got to focus on turning this into a decent bed. Well, I think I did a pretty decent job. I moved stuff over here into this chair, moved stuff on top of the cooler, and moved stuff into the front seats here and here. All my jackets are up on the front windshield. I'll see you guys in the morning. It's early morning in Nevada, and I'm at the trailhead of Rocky Gap Road, one of the Badge of Honor trails in the Jeep Badge of Honor system. I'm not sure what to expect here, and the trail rating has a range on it, which means it could be difficult based on conditions. These might be some of the most challenging conditions because it did rain and snow off and on all night as I camped near the trailhead. This is the second day of my adventure that I'm going on, and Rocky Gap Road or Rocky Gap Trail is one that a badge I didn't have before. So I'm excited to try it out. We'll see how far we get. Being solo, I want to be careful that I don't do anything too crazy, but I'll do my best to document it as we go along the trail and show you a little bit about what Rocky Gap has to offer. I'm barely onto the trail and I'm already faced with two choices. There's a route over here that's seems a little more peaceful, and then this one, which starts with a really tall climb. Kind of stops here, but maybe it keeps going. Oh, it's just a campsite. Glad I didn't go up here. It would have been a great campsite. One thing that'll help is turning on the onX off-road app. That usually does a good job of marking the trails for us. So let's get that set up on our, ooh, this is slippery. It's gravel on the top, but it's mud underneath. Let's get that set up on our Jeep so we can know where we're going. See, that's more like it. With onX Off-Road, I can actually see this is the Rocky Gap Trail, and I'm pointed that way. All right, here we go, Rocky Gap Road. Or trail, is it road? I don't know, Rocky Gap. Sun's just starting to peek up over there. Rocky Gap is a little bumpy, so I figure to soften up the ride a bit, I'm gonna switch my Falcons to 1. I did not air down my tires. I don't feel the need to quite yet. If we feel like that's necessary, that shouldn't be difficult to do with my monster valves that I installed a few years ago. That are pretty effective. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, that's a much smoother ride. Adjustable shocks make a big difference when you're going through a variety of terrain. Starting to see a little more snow on the trail. Likely we're getting higher in elevation. What are we? Say 54? 5471. That's pretty significant. I think earlier we were at 2,900 when we were over on the freeway. So that's a pretty decent gain in elevation. And we're still going up. That we're headed toward Red Rock Summit. I'm assuming that is the peak, and that says 7510. That's a pretty respectable elevation gain, and it looks like we're going to be heading right to it, so very cool. Let's just hope conditions stay about like this and not too difficult. I don't want to turn around if I can help it. Oh, look at that riverbed up there. Good people try and drive on that. Stay on the trail. Tread lightly. We do not want these things to get closed down. This road seems to crisscross that riverbed we saw, which means that likely in the spring you'd have a couple cool river crossings as all the snow from the Nevada desert, maybe there's not that much snow, melts and comes down. little slippery here. Look at this. That's a little higher than I feel comfortable with. And if we slide that way. And that's not fun. Let's check it out first. Spots like this can be deceptively challenging. It doesn't seem like it's much, but you can see how the road curves it here. Now, if this road is solid, no problems. If this road is mud and this passenger tire starts to slip, then it sends us down there. If it's icy, it starts to slip. Now, if the snow is sticky, which it feels relatively grippy, again, no problem. The trickiest part is we have a winch for self-recovery, but you have to have a place to winch to, or another vehicle to winch to. And when we're all by ourselves, it's best not to take a lot of risks, because the last thing you want to do is be like, okay, well, I got a winch, but what am I going to winch out to? I guess I could tie it up to that tree up there. I hope that's strong enough. It's not a very big tree, and usually in the desert, the roots are really shallow, which means that if I'm going to winch myself to a small tree with shallow roots in the desert, I'm likely going to be pulling that tree out down onto myself instead of pulling myself free. It's a beautiful spot, though. Look how amazing this looks. You've got like these awesome rock cliffs up there, a lot of variety in the terrain, things like that. So let's walk the terrain a little bit and just see how it feels. That's pretty slippery. You can just see as I tried to walk on that hill a little bit, started to slip right down. If I had another vehicle with me, no problem at all. I'd carry on and just say, hey, watch me. If I slip down into these little rocks, let's go. Likely I could, just turn it down into them and go, down here and then come back up. But being all by myself, the last thing I want to do is get in a position where I'm in trouble. I don't have cell service here. I've got my GPS so I could send an SOS message, but who knows how long that takes, and they're very expensive. So when in doubt, be smart. So I'm going to save this for another day. Seems like a cool place, and I would really like to come back. But with all this fresh snow and the slipperiness we just experienced, it's probably not smart. So sadly, that's going to end Rocky Gap Trail for today. But hopefully that means that we get to save the rest of it for another day. Look, I won't pretend I'm not a little disappointed. I drove a long way to get here. I specifically, because of this trail, I chose Cathedral Gorge because it was kind of on the way and kind of not. But if I wasn't going to do this, I wouldn't have done Cathedral Gorge. I would have gone a completely different route on the freeways and through the states. So I drove a long way to get here, and that's a big investment. It's kind of like waiting in line for a ride at your favorite amusement park, and then when you get to the front, you get on the ride, and then 5 seconds later, they're like, sorry, the ride's broken. We need you to get off now. And it's like, oh, come on. I got to ride it for a second, and that was fun, but I wish that I'd gotten to do the whole thing. But there is also the same hope when you say, well, when they fix the ride, I'm going to come back and ride it again. And maybe in the spring or the summer or the fall, I can come back here with some friends and enjoy this trail. So pretty cool. Not difficult. And I mean, I don't know what lay in the opposite direction. If I'd continued on, it could be that there was some very interesting, challenging obstacles that would have caused me to have to turn around anyway. Wintertime is always difficult when you're off-roading because you've got snow and ice to contend with in addition to the obstacles that you usually deal with. And especially out here in the desert, when you're dealing with snow and ice, that also usually means mud as well. Which again, if you're used to West Coast or Western United States driving, you don't do with a lot of mud. That's more of an East Coast thing because we just don't get as much rain out here. So desert driving, desert exploring, desert off-roading is a significantly different set of challenges, but it was still worth it. I still enjoyed coming here and camping out. I still enjoyed exploring this, and this just means we're gonna get to the next stop in our adventure even sooner. So let's make our way off the trail, head down towards the Big Bear region, which we'll see what the conditions are like. I'm guessing they'll be about the same as here, probably more, because I think that's even higher elevation. So let's go find out. Well, I'm off the trail for Rocky Gap Road, and I'm headed down to California now. Beautiful scenery, a lot better than I expected from Nevada. Definitely put Rocky Gap on your list of badges that you have to get before you kick the bucket. Thanks for watching. This has been and continues to be 1111 Overland. I'm on the old Spanish Trail. I don't really speak Spanish, but I do speak trail. Yeah, something right up there. Looks like this one goes down here. This is tricky. Whoa! Well, my instincts paid off. This is awesome. Check this out. The view here is absolutely spectacular. There's all these awesome rocks to climb around on. I wish the kids were here. They would absolutely love it. And the wind seems to be picking up. Here in the next hour or so, we're supposed to see some gusts up to 39 miles an hour. Before I leave, I want to go see what that cave is like. That could have been disastrous. The sunrise is just at that perfect point. It's illuminating everything. It looks all golden and beautiful. And the last 3 miles is going to take like 45 minutes. Makes me wonder what I'm getting into. Even with the snow. Really gorgeous. Well, it's getting to a point where I'm slipping pretty bad, and I've got 4 low and lockers on. Slowly make my way back down without slipping. I'm gonna take the beach road up the coast and see if I can't find a great camping spot. Look at this. Go up this little hill, and I got the ocean. Oh, I'm pleased. This is gonna be great. Let's get camp set up. So this is the Frontrunner Experience Center. Not sure what to expect, but let's go in and check it out. Driving through the mountains here has been a lot of fun. And suddenly we are enveloped in fog. Well, I've made it to the Anza Borrego Desert State Park. So this is the squeeze. See, this is where you need a buddy. This is where you need someone else to come along with you so you can say, hey, you do it. If you get stuck, I'll winch you out. What on earth is this? This is absolutely bizarre. I've never seen a palm tree forest like this. There could be anything back there. Well, the sun is already set behind those mountains. And I don't have a place to sleep tonight. This is quite the desolate place. I feel like I'm on the surface of the moon or Mars. There is an amazing sky of stars up there. And they are absolutely incredible. Well, I'm gonna do it. I just went on their website, standing in their warehouse, placed it as local pickup, and now these guys are awesomely, literally throwing the kit together right now. It's stuff like this that makes taking the long way really rewarding. Instead of being on a freeway for hours on end, listening to books on tape, I find myself just captured by all of the beauty.